Hey guys, Bailey here. I got a new episode of Same Shit, Different Day here for you. So, we got the resident Raza Malik here. And we also have our kind wine mom available to take care of us in case we need. But we wanted to talk about a very difficult topic today. It's Kevin Spacey. Raza did an excellent job summarizing him, but I, of course, blew it. So we're cutting in about halfway through. So content warning if you're kind of sensitive to, all the bad stuff that Kevin Spacey did. And if not, you should probably do some Googles before you jump in.
Now we're balanced?
Off to a great start, boys.
Yeah.
Yep, great
So
stuff.
pick up where you left off. So he filmed two YouTube videos.
He was in a Ridley Scott movie, All the Money in the World. It had to be reshot, and Christopher Plummer took his place, and that was the last time we heard of him. And then since then, no criminal charges or anything happened in a legal life. So technically, he didn't really do anything according to law, but there's so much against him. But people haven't come forward, and identified themselves yet. But he's coming in a new movie called was it Who Drew God, as a detective from a director, an Italian director called Franco Nero, who's also starring in it. And Nero plays as a blind artistic savant who's accused of, CB. I don't want to say it on stream, but
Of CB?
CB, so something to do with children.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Alright.
All right.
So Spacey's character, the detective, he wants to figure out what happened. It's kind of like, it's a little subtext to what happened to Kevin Spacey. So it's like a little too on the nose there. The director's wife, Vanessa Redgrave, was supposed to be in the movie, but since she's not anymore because of Kevin Spacey being cast in it, and she was supposed to play his piano teacher, and it was supposed to be a cameo and stuff. Also, a random note. So
The director's wife was supposed to be in it, and she was like, "Oh well, no, do your movie by yourself."
She pulled a Melinda Gates. That's what happened. She pulled a Melinda Gates.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they've been married for 15 years, and then a random note.
Who is this director? Does this director have any background?
Yeah, Frank Nero. He's like He's like a veteran Italian director.
It sounds sus. It sounds very sus.
Yeah.
Sounds like some alt-right director got hired to fuel this shit.
I'd really
some Ben Shapiro proxy.
Probably, because it's because all right. But he was supposed to be in a $40 million lawsuit, but I think he dodged it because the victim didn't identify themselves. So he's just got off scot-free, essentially. Kevin Spacey did.
Well, that's because of the statute of limitation, I assume.
I guess so, but it also the identity wasn't revealed.
Well,
before,
I don't really hold that against them, if I'm honest.
That's true.
And our journalism stuff, especially if it's a minor, they're not going to release the identity. That's common practice.
That's the other thing, yeah. That's the other thing.
I don't think they're minors anymore at this point. I think is the
but
point
if the crime occurred while they're a minor, you still can't release the information.
I follow.
So crime against a minor in the past.
I mean, I feel like if it was me and I was coming forward for something like this, I wouldn't want my name released at all anyway.
Exactly.
If I had to go through the courts, then that's one thing, but I wouldn't want some news reporter to have my name. No, thank you.
Canada's very good for that shit. You can sue the pants off of somebody for that shit. But the outside world, No, yeah, that's a very good worry to have because someone can very realistically do that shit to you.
No, so I'm gonna open up to the floor and say, do you think, obviously, as a unit, we think Kevin Spacey shouldn't come back, but like why? Well, like, do you, do you think like he's trying something, like he's trying to be different or something?
100%, bro. Have you ever
Okay.
seen his Christmas things, man?
Yeah, his
fucking
YouTube shit.
crazy Christmas things where he reenacts as being Frank Underwood.
Frank
The
Underwood,
last one
yeah.
when he was in front of the fire. He knows what he's doing. He's always been a smart man. That's why I was sad to find out he was a pedophile because he's clearly. I said the bad P word. That's why I was sad to find out that he's the P word because it's like
Mhm.
I thought he's clearly an aware human.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
If
him
these
like
things is
trying.
going on, he knows what it looks like and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
I feel like this is just what happens in Hollywood. Like, it's sad to kind of brush it off in that sense, but I can't say that I'm shocked he's coming back. I figured it was gonna happen, especially because the way that he lost his career, like being killed off. He's
Yeah.
not gonna take well to that. Not that type of personality.
Like, it's so weird. He's like, somebody said he's kind of like a lizard. He takes into
Yeah.
certain roles, and like when
Yeah.
he became not Kevin Spacey, Frank Underwood, he became Frank Underwood, and shit. I think he had a mental breakdown.
I really thought he would have. I sincerely thought he was gonna get someone to like make a short film of him as that character, some sort of weird artsy. I thought he was gonna Snyderverse it.
No, but he needs money.
He'll get
Right.
some. He's old theater money. Like he was a Broadway
I mean,
actor.
yeah.
Like he can get
He can
money any fucking place he
self-fund.
wants.
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah.
know
Do you
those
think-
type of people, when you run in that circle, if you're a man with an idea and you got the credentials, like a Kevin
Oh
Spacey,
yeah. Yeah.
that's just gonna happen. When he made House of Cards as the lead role, right? That was Netflix's like first try. Everyone was like, "You're fucking nuts. You're dumb for doing this." He was the one that had to draw up the support for it, and that's why it was like such a dramatic thing. And I was like, "Ah, this show's so cool, and Kevin Spacey's the best." And then I was like, "Oh, you ruined this whole experience for me."
He
Kevin
ruined
Spacey.
Usual Suspects for him and stuff. And stuff.
Yeah, I've never watched the show, so I don't feel any attachment to any of the characters or
I've
anything
only
like that.
seen the first season because my dad was
Yeah.
hella into it.
Mm.
But
Eh,
other than that, what? Sorry.
It was cool and it was fun as a politics nerd. Wine Mom would have hated it. Raza would have liked it because it was basically all of the moments we had in like the past 8 years, like all the worst case scenarios. So it was like Obama introducing free health care and then it being hijacked by like more right wing Democrats so that it could be used against the public. And then the Republicans come into power and then fucking he decides to switch to like a Trumpian role, so he becomes the people's person and switches to the Republicans, and then everyone loves him because he's the new Trump. And like coincidentally, funny enough, fucking Kevin Spacey's fake playing the new Trump, and then it comes out that he's a P word. So it's like, oh, all the QAnon people are then like conflicted because they used to love this character as like an example of Trump, and they hate child P words, and then he's one of them.
Right.
So Kevin Spacey just shattered like the universes of people who actually like Trumpian people by accident.
Right. I just
But-
feel like the thing is, like, you can't talk about Kevin Spacey without talking about the stuff that lies underneath celebrity culture, right? Like
Yeah.
all the things that really happen to children in the industry. It's a hard topic to
Yeah.
get into, right?
But yeah, and it's also like how people are like don't like. It's all like a Chris D'Elia thing. Like people don't
Yeah.
really learn; they continue doing their thing. And
Well, I
then,
think
and stuff.
No,
Yeah.
I think like that's the biggest takeaway from this is that like in Hollywood, you can be accused of something, and like regardless of whether you go through trial and you've been proven right or wrong, like the decision has been made about you, and so some people get blacklisted that don't really deserve it, like as we watched happen with Johnny Depp and Amber. He lost tons
Yeah.
of money and was blacklisted everywhere.
Yeah.
And then there's people like him who get a version of blacklist where we're just gonna like put you like a little tiny coma for a bit, and then when we feel like things have smoothed over, we're gonna just like dig you out of your grave and like give you a lead role in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
another one
sorry,
of those
go.
bullshit ones where it's like, because you got the right friends, right? That's where I started with, because he's got but he's a good guy, so we'll just put him on the back burner, and it will pass after he redeems himself. And these like
He needs a
rich-
comeback.
Yeah.
These dinkos, these dink bots are out there, and they're sitting there, and they're actually just like, oh yeah, it's all fine, it's fine. He said sorry, right? Like that to them, it's good enough. That's the problem. It's like 'cause then you try.
Yeah.
You got to change the mind of the people making the decision. That's the scary part.
But the problem is that you're asking people who do the same things to hold somebody else accountable for what they're already doing. That's the problem. It's like you can't ask somebody who's kicking the dog to tell the other guy who's kicking the dog to stop kicking the dog. Like if you're both doing it, then like it seems a little contradictory, right? And that's the problem. Like he's able to go and say like, oh, okay, so like this is basically what your company or whatever it is based off of, but yet I can't do it and be accepted. It's a little contradictory. And then he's able to weasel his way back, plus money as usual, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're totally right, and I support that 100%. That's exactly like that corruption of like the Hollywood stuff, but.
Well, and it's like we've talked before, right? Like, somebody did bring up an argument to me that, I mean, not really so much an argument, but more so like thought to my head is that, like, there was a lot of accusations, but it kind of felt like it was dogpiled onto him. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you did something dirty. I don't care if it's one person or 500 people. That's how I feel. But there's that argument where he can sit up there and go, oh, it's all for clout. And so, as usual, the Me Too movement is people are trying to push it away, and people pick and choose who they want to apply the movement to.
Well, we got the usual lesson of like an Ellen, right? Like, oh, I was trying hard. It was my tough environment. It was this. Oh, I grew, but it wasn't me, right? Like if you're pulling an Ellen, eventually you're gonna lose the public favor. So he had the opportunity to apologize. He addressed singular issues within the many that were raised. As a communications person, I would say he then made the mistake by picking and choosing, because he made it so that people know that he's aware of the totality of what's coming at him, when he should have just like either done the work or gone silent. By him addressing like one or two of the things and saying like, oh, blah blah blah, it's like then you put yourself at guilt or liability of the rest of the things because you recognize that they exist.
So that's the thing, is like his apology was so gross to me, and it's because it's one of those very classic things. Like if you're being accused of something extremely serious, as like child victims, like if that's what you're being accused of, or whatever the case may be, because I know the kid was 14 at the time, or the actor was 14 at the time, and your response is to say, if I did that, I'm so sorry, but also I've struggled with my sexuality for a really long time, and so I'm gonna now tell all you guys that I've been accused of this thing that has traditionally been traditionally LGBTQ community has been accused of, and I'm gonna rope it all together and make a statement and think that people aren't gonna be like, that's yucky.
It's the thing that like it's what the mainstream media looks for and says this is now the face of it, and then it's like the story. It's like the one person you you told me who manages the Twitch community,
Hmm.
manager what they identify as, like
Right.
that. It's the same thing. It's like you're using that as an excuse to do
Right.
all your
Like,
your, your dumb
Mhm.
shit.
let's just make it very clear for Mr. Kevin Spacey. I don't give a fuck what you identify as. What you did is the thing that you need to comment on and apologize for. It has
No,
nothing to
that's
do with
true.
your sexuality. It's not the time to come out. Pride Month happens every year. So, wait it out and announce it then. If you
Well,
really
because
want to come out to the public. Like you've stayed in the closet this long and you're gonna use this specific opportunity, it's very creepy.
that's why it's doubly gross, right? Because then he's not
Yeah.
only like hijacking the identity as an excuse, he's then applying like the celebration of that
Right.
as it's like coincidentally timely because he did do that. You were right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that until you brought it up. He did it
Yeah.
during Pride Month that first time around.
Mhm.
It's gross. When I started off by saying that I admired him because he was a smart man, and then that's why I was disgusted immediately because of the way he responded with that. The way that he immediately was like, "Okay, I come out now." It was like you were holding on to that as your get
Yeah.
out of jail card.
Right.
It was like
Well,
too
exactly.
evident,
No,
right?
but you're
It's like
100% on the ball there with that. Absolutely.
in my brain, my whole brain is just hurt.
Yeah. Well, it's just, and like a lot of people want to say, because I was saying the argument of like, oh, one accuser, and so then like a bunch of other people are hopping on the train for clout or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But it just, for me, it's just like it sets a precedence for the behavior that he exhibits, regardless of like inebriation or not, regardless of party or not, regardless of age of the victim at party or not, right?
Mhm.
That does not matter. The point is like even if you just remove age from the situation, it's clear that you think it's okay to assert yourself onto other people because of who you are. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yuck, and like I'm not gonna invalidate those people that came forward regardless of whether they want to say who they were or not, but it's just because in my mind I relate it to the Johnny Depp situation, right? When those things came out about Johnny, everybody who had an association with Johnny was like, LOL, no, he's a good guy, this is weird, we don't, we're gonna support him and see it through to the end and see where it goes, right? But that didn't happen with Kevin, and I feel like that should show you a clear indication of the type of character that person is. That people were
Mhm.
like, yeah, we're gonna let this, like, this his thing. No, thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there's a
I
like
mean,
this weird
right.
these weird what's the word?
Well, to think of
Grievances,
it
These
like,
weird.
right. But I think
like that.
specifically the fact that the company who's relying on him to be, like, the lead main character of a show is like, yeah, we're just gonna kill you off. Like, that says a lot about who you are. And to me, that
How
says
easy
not
it was,
only,
yeah.
right, it says not only that were these complaints valid, but the people that work with you felt that it was valid enough. Like, there was something you may have done or some sort of thing that you've exhibited where they're like, yeah, we're just gonna, this is finally our opportunity to get out. And like, most companies they won't do that. They'll kind of ignore it, maybe talk around it, brush it off, try and, like, maybe remove the character for a season or something like that. But they were just like, bye, like, we're done here.
That's
Take it
true.
out.
Yeah, I think it's like uh people were looking at him like, oh, he's so brilliant and he gets to act this way and
Yeah.
stuff. So we gave him a pass. You probably touched on
Mhm.
that too. But
Yeah.
like, it's like when it finally became more serious, people started to look at, okay, wait a second. This guy has a weird ego problem. Like he is a super
Yeah.
like he's like a narcissist almost,
Yeah.
kind of too.
I mean, how
So
often do we hear people complaining about celebrities on sets, right? How often do we hear that? Like, specifically Ellen, how many people bitch about her and nothing is done? People just, like, ignore it,
yeah,
continue on. The show must go. even with like actors and actresses, tons of times people will come out and be like, oh, this actor or actress is really hard to work with. And you know, like they work around that stuff and they try and correct the press and make it work. But in this situation, they were not going to even try. We're good.
Yeah, like the whole
Yeah.
Ellen thing. I laughed at that because I knew she like this whole like sort of, pardon my language, but this whole like white woman thing
Yeah.
was so. It
Well,
looked like it was a
Did you
shit like
see? Did
put
you see
together
her
like
final
cardboard.
statement? Did you see her final statement about the cancellation?
No.
Okay, so that happened last week as well, right? And
Okay.
Ellen's thing. So the show was canceled. It hasn't been clarified by which party. Ellen comes on and it's like, oh, it wasn't challenging me anymore, so I need to move on to something
Like
that
yeah,
is
because
challenging
people
me.
were saying you're problematic. We have to take, which is like thank you
it's
you
like,
so
yeah,
much because
no, and
nobody
like you
likes
were
Ellen anymore.
There's no way she was doing the show in the first place to be challenged, right? She's dancing up and down stairs and like talking to her DJ. Like you're not
Yeah.
challenging yourself, you're not challenging your audience, you're just interviewing celebrities. Like
right.
Doing the same thing for how many seasons and then traveling once and stuff. Yeah, like it got hella stale and stuff, and that's why I think I don't know, like
I never
Ellen.
really participated in Ellen to begin with. Really,
Yeah.
if I'm honest with you, the only good thing that ever came out of Ellen was her producer going to those like horror houses and getting scared shitless. That was the only thing that she ever did with that show that I found had value. And it wasn't because she was funny, it was because he was
If
funny.
somebody else was, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
the one time like I saw her show through and through, it was Chris Evans and what's your face, the girl who plays Scarlet Witch, right? And they were doing a dance. I thought that was jokes, and then she jumped in and said, "I wanna Ellen by this. I wanna ruin the chemistry of these two people on set," and like it made me want to hate her even more. Like she sets a bad example for late. She's the reason why late night or like talk shows aren't gonna get any better.
Well, I've always had a problem with talk shows, if I'm honest, because I feel like what value do you add to this community? Because that's a big thing with talk shows. A lot of it is
Talk
like,
show.
but it's true. It's no. This is a different. Okay, but what I'm saying is like when we're sitting here having this talk show, right? Okay, you guys are messed up right now.
no, you're good, I'm good.
So
Okay.
when you have this type of show, right? We're diving deep into situations and we're adding commentary that has value because we're bringing up arguments that people would otherwise ignore, right? But when you look at a talk
just
show,
dances. Yeah.
right? But when you
Yeah.
look at these talk shows, like even like sometimes like Oprah, Ellen, even sometimes like the Kimmels, for me, I'm like, okay, you're interviewing
agree.
a celebrity. That's cool. But this celebrity literally does that on their own on Instagram, on Twitter. Like if they do have a YouTube channel, like
Yeah.
Jack Black, I don't need anybody to interview him. I can fully see what kind of character and like how funny he is just by his own social media. So it's like, what contextual value are you adding to have like an hour, sometimes 2 hour shows?
Because it's legacy media, right?
Right.
It's the outdated format, and they've got the power of like millions of dollars behind them, right?
Right.
But they're
Like,
dying now,
You're
Bailey.
you're right. Yeah, no, well, because Wine Mom's right, because they
Kimmel
don't
is in.
have an implicit purpose, because they can fucking the same thing can be done on the internet for much cheaper. You can do a
Yeah.
podcast. You could do this. That's why they're all switching. That's why fucking Hillary Clinton has her own podcast now, which drives me up the goddamn wall. Right?
Even still, like 90% of this talk show stuff you see on TV, like you can watch the important clips on YouTube.
Well, and that's the thing. And then when it comes to YouTube, is like those conglomerate. Like you look at us, right? There's three of us. There's three of us doing this and that and this and that and this and this. And then meanwhile, the thing is with Ellen, you've got a team of like 40 there to help it
Writers
get
and
done,
stuff to
right?
one thing. Yeah.
Right? Like you're to
Yeah.
write one 2-minute sketch, you've got 5
Yeah.
people in one room, and then you've got a whole team of people filming it rather than some guy pressing a button on his effing computer. So it's a lot fucking cheaper to get 5 people in a room and record a podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like when I think about like, for me personally, if I want to absorb any kind of celebrity entertainment, like if I want to know about them, there's really only a few places I'm gonna go, which would be, I'm gonna go to Colors if I want music, because what they do is amazing. I'm gonna go to Tiny Desk concert if I want music. I'm probably gonna go to like Hot Ones if I want any kind of celebrity entertainment, because to me, like, it's more true character building of a person because you're putting them in a hotspot situation. It's fun. And then, like, the only other person who I feel like adds value to any sort of like interview style content it's a show on Netflix called My Next Guest Is. I can't remember who the host of it is, but he did one with Jay-Z, one with Jerry Seinfeld, a couple other guys I can't remember, but you can see the value in those conversations. Whereas when you watch like a talk show, like it's all about promoting whatever movie, TV, like whatever random thing they're working on.
Raza, make your point because I've got a public relations spiel afterwards.
Like Lily Singh, you remember her? She had a late night TV.
Very stupid.
Yeah, like she was doing amazing on YouTube, and she says, "Let me go to this dying industry, this late night industry where it's fucking becoming a prehistoric landscape." And then her show got canceled after I think 1 year or 2 years and shit. So yeah, sorry, man.
Okay, no need to say sorry. So it's because talk shows were like the original format of YouTube. Talk shows were the clip segments. Talk shows, so the internet, whether it's Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, it's perpetuated by conversation. That's why podcasts are so successful. That's why radio was so successful even when TV existed. Because it was the conversation that was the core of perpetuating the media. So, yes, talk shows are outdated, and that's why it's failing, because it can't talk and communicate at the same pace that social media and YouTube and Tumblr can now. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I think that's the weird PR spin behind it.
Right. Which I think you're very valid on, but I think the reason why internet works better is because of the meme culture. Like, that's why it works, is because you get to see, especially with Hot Ones, you get to see celebrities in an extremely uncomfortable position where they're also still trying to be true to their personality, and it makes much funnier content because it feels more real, because yes, they're still trying to put on a show, but it's pretty hard to do when your mouth is burning, right?
But the my only argument there is I agree with you. I fully agree with you. It's just very intriguing because it's like the accessibility of it, right?
Right.
Like if the talk shows adapted quicker, like Tosh.0 became an internet and TV sensation because it tapped into the meme culture, right? Right. Like, because my grandma's literally clipping cat memes out of them. Yes. No, but you know what I mean? Like, people, like, there's grandparents, it doesn't gotta be mine. They're gonna clip the cat memes out of the newspaper, not knowing they're memes. They just think they're funny comics or a funny image. Look at what this I found, right? So they're gonna fucking still, no matter what demographics consuming the media, like the access, people would meme if they had access to meme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's the talk show's fault for not providing access to the memes.
Well, because that's the biggest thing about it, right? When you're watching YouTube, it's significantly more personal, because a lot of the time these hosts are asking questions that are in regards to what their audience is asking when a specific guest is coming on. And like, the thing is too, like, yes, the celebrities still promote like whatever movie or TV show or whatever it is that they're doing, but it's done in such a, because I personally feel like YouTube does things in such a way, depending on the content creator, of course, where the advertising is very minimal and it's more about like the actual content in the video. So yes,
Yeah.
you know that like so and so is doing a movie, but like you also get to know about them personally, and specific segments like pulling things from their personal Instagram and making them talk about it, and like
Yeah.
other things like that that we have questions for that we don't get to know about, which that's why social media works, because it's so much more intimate.
Yeah.
And talk shows are also like scripted too, right?
Right.
Whereas like things online, it's more organic, and sometimes you, celebrities or whatever come onto a podcast to just hang out. They don't necessarily have to be bringing a
Right.
product or promoting anything. Like it can just be that they're to hang out because
Just chill.
it's that
Well, the brain-
organic feeling. Because podcasts. Sorry to cut you off. Podcasts make make the listener feel like as if they're a part of the conversation. So
Yeah.
imagine if you're like watching like a podcast with your homie
Mhm.
Chris Pratt, right? You could be like, yo, I am talking to Chris Pratt. So well,
Mhm.
but like it's just it's more personal. People
Yeah.
feel as if they are a part of the show. For a talk show, not so
Yeah.
much. Like there is little uh interaction with the audience, but
Right.
but
Well,
more so a podcast. So, yeah.
exactly. And as for me, like this is why I think podcasts can easily be the most influential form of media, social media.
Mhm.
And I feel
Yeah.
like
It already
podcasting
is.
really, right, but I feel like podcasting really does something special for the industry. It's like, I know I've talked about it before. I used to do a true crime podcast very regularly, and we were lucky enough to speak with a survivor, right? And he found us on his own, just like searching content online, found us on his own. And when he reached out to us, he was like, I felt so connected to you girls personally. And he's like, I felt like you were a safe space. Like you were people that I could talk to and that I would understand, because majority of the conversations on podcasts are organic, are usually unscripted. Sometimes there's some sort of format, but there's that intimacy where people can feel safe coming into that space.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why it's so gross that Joe Rogan abuses the power that he has, right? Like
Oh,
Joe
yeah, that's a
Rogan
whole other thing.
gets more
boy.
views than most fucking television networks.
Target
right?
Bailey.
Like-
This Target Bailey, not me.
No, we'll
Target
stay
Bailey
off. I
guys.
think that's good enough, and we're on Twitch, and let's just leave that shit alone. I'm just like, you're right, and I think it's proven that it's the most fucking
Well,
influential
even
media
just-
network, because you're correct there, because it provides that intimacy. Because even you as the viewer, you can listen to, oh, I don't know who a Jordan Peterson is, but I just listened to this guy who seemed really convincing, but I don't have to go check all his facts because he's on my homie's podcast. I trust this guy because I listen to him every week, right? Like
Yeah.
it creates that ever noted parasocial relationship that's so
Yeah.
valuable, right?
It is, man. It's this new type of thing. Like our parents have never experienced this.
Yeah.
Before.
Well, it's
So
like
it's
it's the same thing even with Twitter, right? When you comment towards or at certain celebrities, maybe A-list celebrities or even like, YouTube level celebrities, having that intimacy. Like I remember the first time I tweeted at a YouTuber that I was obsessed with at the time. I tweeted at them and they responded to my tweet, which was so crazy. And I remember like telling my mom about it, and my mom was like, okay, don't get it, but super happy for you, like big thumbs up. And I was like, no mom, like this is like what we would consider like a celebrity, like someone that is unobtainable, but when you hit social media, they become obtainable people.
a person, yeah, dude. Like I remember when my favorite lead singer of a band growing up followed me on Twitter. I was screaming at my dad, like, Dad, look at this shit. He's like, I don't know who this person is, but it takes away that barrier. You're just like now, you're both on the same thing, right?
Yeah. Which creates a sometimes a great environment and sometimes a very toxic environment, but it can be great.
It's
That's
if
the bad
you,
part.
Yeah, it's if you uh know your boundaries and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, it's like how often do celebrities, maybe take breaks from their career because they've faced a large amount of harassment online? It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, like, so the good thing with social media is that you can have those intimate conversations with sometimes people you would never think you get to talk to, which is
Yeah.
amazing. But it also has
Mhm.
the downside of these celebrities have us in their pockets way more often, right? Because then they're forced with to deal with like comments and acts and all different kinds of things, and so it's good and it's bad. That's
Well,
what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Will Smith is like the ideal example of that, right? Like
Mhm.
look at how his life has transformed over the years. It's so fucking intriguing because he was like one of those untouchable celebrities. And then
Mhm.
as he opened up and started getting more vulnerable, then all of a sudden now we're hearing about like him and his wife's complications, and it's
Yeah.
interesting to see this like devolving of the relationship of this like human that was put on a pedestal to
Mhm.
then being brought down to more of a down to earth perspective. Now it's still a pimped out version of it. It's still one where many people are profiting off of this man's pain, which is
Yeah.
very unfortunate and
I
something that I
know.
don't approve of.
But
But
you were taking a part of it too.
Yeah.
I was taking a part of it too, right? As part of the media game, and that's
I
the
know.
scary part of this like devolution of celebrity that is now
Mhm.
provided, right? It's like now
Yeah.
we all the only thing we want to see is people fucking to lose, you know?
Yeah.
To
Hmm.
Well, I
think
think not
how
so much.
I
Sorry,
was
go
just gonna
ahead.
say how much did I dragged Raza into the whole Joe Budden podcast beef, and he gave no fucks about it. But you know why he read about it? Because it was a beef.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
think yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm still very intrigued by that whole thing. I'm very intrigued.
It is. That's a
It's gonna be a
side
movie.
podcast for another day. That's a
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
podcast for another
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Coming soon to
Well, I just feel like social media is like forcing a lot of these celebrities and like even micro celebrities, social media influencers. It's really forcing them to like be held accountable for the shit that they do and say online. And
yeah.
it's crazy.
And sometimes you don't want to hear it. I'm just
Yeah.
like yeah, like it's just too much.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
because
because I think for a very long time, social media stars and also celebrities were like, I'm not a real person to these people, so I can really do whatever I want. But once I'm in
yeah,
my role in a movie, they're gonna obsess over me. So they were
yeah.
able to live like a bit of a double life,
Hmm.
and now that's not really possible because you get called out on Twitter like no problems.
I brought it up before, and I only bring it up again today because I literally watched another video on it today. But it's like FouseyTube is the best fucking example of that. Because
Yeah.
this man was sitting here
Oh my
making,
god, don't get me started.
but because he was making all those prank videos. That was the era of the internet where you didn't have to show who you were. You could just make some
Yeah.
dumb content and you could hide that
Uh,
shit. And then
Bailey,
it's what?
the stream is black.
Well, you don't. I don't see your game. Yeah, where's your game?
It's supposed to be there. I'm playing
Okay,
it.
well, all right, Grumpy Pants. You cut me off mid thought. I was making a good point there, Raza.
Sorry. You just tell me to
Jesus!
watch out.
I
Well, it's a
gotta fucking
technical.
wait till I'm done my thoughts.
Okay, my
No, it's
bad.
okay. Here
Sorry.
you go. No, it's okay. I'm reloading it. Let's see what happens.
No, but you were saying about allowing people to sort of hide behind a character. That's the biggest issue for me, is that these
mhm.
YouTubers will do some of the crappiest, shittiest, gross things that could be done, and then go, "Yeah, I was just playing a character. It was just a character. I was just
Yeah,
doing it."
I
Like,
can. Yeah,
hello, it's basically like doing TV. Like, okay, first of all, deflate the ego. You're not a television star. This is fucking
but they're
YouTube.
actors. They're actors, Wine Mom. They are. They are men and women of the art.
No.
Sorry.
It's like,
Yeah, sorry.
unless it's clearly stated that you're putting on a character, I'm not gonna buy it. It's like
Mhm.
with the whole Gabby Hanna situation we had talked about previously. Like, I know that eventually she's gonna come out and be like, "Well, I was playing a character." Like, no, girl,
Yeah.
you were not playing a character. You were having a mental breakdown in front of everybody, and then you thought it was okay to play the victim. Sorry, you're not buying it.
I
The
know.
problem is that there's young impressionable people that will buy that. Like,
And
they buy that.
like for giving Gabby will be trending like #1 on Twitter.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. End of
I mean, I won't
thing.
even get into what's been going on with her lately. We would be here forever, but
Yeah.
I'm not giving excuses to people. I'm just not. I'm sorry.
You're ready.
Forget it.
You ready to have your brain cry with this fact based off of
Great.
validating your idea here, right?
Great.
Okay.
So now you're right, and there's a whole generation of people that just watched Donald Trump get off doing exactly that.
Right.
So there's a whole generation of kids that think like, this is the way I get clout now, like this is the way I
Right.
get power, and this is how I succeed in capitalism.
By becoming president of the United States.
It's terrifying though, because
Yeah.
then
Funny,
I'm just gonna be
but
like,
it's true.
I know.
let me be as boastful as possible. I'm gonna make the biggest fucking promises I can, and if I meet you halfway, then kiss my ass. I did half,
Yeah.
and that's good enough, dickwad.
And,
Well, and
then
it makes it. Sorry, go ahead, Raza.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say it makes it very difficult for people like us to exist on the internet. Because
Yeah.
when I speak about the things that I'm talking about, and when I call out someone's name and I specifically state something to them, like, that's my genuine character. Like, I'm genuinely trying to like make a point and say something about what I feel. I'm not playing a character or a game or trying to present myself as something else. And so people don't really, there's no shock value in that. And so, you have a small crowd of people that see the value in being honest and like having a genuine conversation and being willing to like learn and adapt in the industry. But then there's people who are just like, I could just like bulldoze this and like really just put on a show, and like everyone would be like, oh, she's so talented and funny and it's such a great show. It's like, no, like, you suck, like, you suck.
And I think everybody nowadays wants to become the main character, and that ties it back to Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
He wants to become the main character of his own like drama, and so
Yeah.
like people are becoming more egotistical, also, these days.
Well, everyone thinks that their 10-cent opinion is worth $1 million, so.
Well, like, let's just say that's kind of true because
It is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, your 10-cent opinion can become worth $10 million, and that's exactly
That's
the
what
problem.
I mean. But I think there's people who don't have that value and they're living with that thought, which is just creating toxicity.
It's a funny balance. I ponder that, and then the perplexities, man. I see these. I feel a lot of empathy for the people that like start these creative projects. It's a little bit of a sidetrack, but ties in that we'll start a creative project or like a podcast, and we're at least like sitting here aware that like not many people are listening, right? There's people out there that are like recording it and like they're posting it to Instagram. They have 200 followers and they think they're on the path. Like they think they're there.
Yeah.
Those are the people I feel bad about that have the influence of this system. I feel bad for the naive people because it gives them this like false illusionment that, and their dreams get so high. They think they're going to put 2 years into this and then they get 200 followers and
I think that's it. Yeah.
exactly. Like what happens to them? What happens to the, like we've got literally millions of people trying to become Twitch streamers right now because it's all about them.
Yeah.
What happens? What happens in 5 years when there's a new thing? What happened to all those kids?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
That's
true.
And that's
what I'm
how
like,
it is. That's
fuck.
how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Fuck.
depressing.
But I mean, it's the same thing as like when we were kids, the big trend was to like become a YouTuber. Everybody wanted to be a YouTuber, a well-known YouTuber. And we've seen, some success stories here and there. But I think amongst all that success, like we've seen a lot of tragic failure in these people. And like someone like FootsyTube, that's a clear example of like a tragic defeat in the career of YouTube. And then when people like Sam Pepper, like that gross stinker who just, it's wild.
No, I agree. I agree, and that's what scares me about, like, the case like Kevin Spacey, because I think the more Kevin Spaceys get away with it, more impressionable, young, cis, typically white males are going to think that this is something that they can get away with in the gross ways. And then, like, as you said, he's manipulating, like, different aspects of the LGBTQ culture, and, like, I don't even think I can fucking personally speak on how toxic that is. I can't even, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and I don't think I can word it intelligently enough.
No.
Like, he's already, like saying, oh, it's an easy target already. Well,
easy scapegoat.
Don't I?
Yeah.
Why don't I just latch my issues with that?
Yeah.
But imagine imagine if you were someone that, like, idolized Kevin Spacey, and then you had feelings, like, you had identity feelings.
I would like to
all
know
of a
a
sudden,
kid
Kevin
that
Spacey
liked Kevin Spacey.
does that. Like, but yeah, imagine if you were, like, a kid who wasn't out of the closet who liked Kevin Spacey, and then he did all
that's
that.
what I'm thinking.
It's like, that's not good. That's not cool. You're being a Joe Rogan, but for homosexual people or a whole spread of people. That's I shouldn't even put it on one spread. Like, you're being a different version of a Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Well, because you're telling those kids that, like, being in the LGBTQ plus community means that you could be viewed as somebody as gross as him.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying. Especially
which puts a dark cloud over the community, which is really not fair. Which makes it so uncomfortable for people to, like, be their genuine selves or say how they genuinely feel or pick up certain alliances because they're afraid that it's going to be categorized. Yeah.
The world is gross. The world is gross, and Kevin Spacey is gross, and I hate life, and I really like that show, and it makes me sad.
Oh gosh.
I just watched the first season, and that was it.
I watched a lot of it. It was good. It was just a big political drama. I liked him in his old shit too, and then I liked Baby Driver as well.
Baby Driver was good.
Yeah, there's, like, a specific comment he makes in Baby Driver that people have been, like, talking about. I don't remember what it is. I've never watched Baby Driver, but...
Oh, I caught it before. I can't remember. He makes a joke because his name's Baby. He makes some sort of weird, creepy kid joke because the kid's name's Baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, like, I like, yeah. Ross like, I can't even not doing
and
it.
it's even grosser because the whole, like, Baby's, like, neurodivergent, and that's the whole thing about the character, and it's like, so you're not only being
even
predatory
the main
to
guy,
youth,
bro.
like, you're acting as his father figure, you're acting as, like, his mentor, and you're extorting him in a power position for money, and then making those, it's like, you're literally enacting your, stop it, you're doing literally what he's doing in the news right now.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he's the good guy. He helps Baby in the end. Fucking.
Anyway.
Yeah. But the main dude, the main character is also in trouble too.
What? For playing a neurodivergent character?
No,
it probably should be though.
Oh.
But
yeah.
Well, I mean, we also, I don't even know, I don't think we've ever even touched on this, and, like, not to get too deep into it, but I'm sure you guys saw the Sia controversy with Maddie Zinger playing a character with autism. Yeah, if you haven't looked that up individually. I don't want to talk about it right now until you guys have looked it up.
Because I think you'll both That's
feel,
a good one.
Bailey specifically, I think you will feel very yucky about it. I think it will make you very angry.
One. I like that one. I like that. Let's save that.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I think overall, Kevin Spacey is another example of how you can, like, exploit and hijack a positive message to perpetuate your own comeback.
Yeah.
Which is gross and scary, because then how many people have done it when they didn't have as clear evidence as him? Right? Like, how many people have used the same tactic when it wasn't so obvious that he definitely did what he did? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we
this year
watched
alone.
Ratman just do it, so
That's true.
Who's
Ratman is
Chris
Dalia.
the Ratface.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? Wait. Oh, is that what he calls himself, or is that what he looks
No,
like?
that's what I'm calling him.
I'm
Okay,
down
word.
with it.
Because, you know, we do
Alright.
something bad and then we come out and be like, I'm a dad. Like, okay, and you still
me and
exploited
Raza
children.
were
Yeah,
talking-
that was a thing. I was like, yeah, I'm a dad. Okay, one of the comments I saw on this, on like Twitter, for it was like a screenshot of his YouTube videos. He was like, oh, now I'm not gonna be in that anymore. Oh, I was like, he isn't gonna be in any movies anymore. And people are like supposed to feel bad.
Like, okay,
All
that's the
that,
whole
yeah.
point, bud.
And shit. Like you know, like the new Zack Snyder movie that just came out, Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He
on
was supposed to-
Netflix.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in it. They filmed it, shot him, and like the movie was done, and then all this shit came out, and the person who took his spot was all in green screen the entire time, like post shooting and stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
but
Kevin
so it's
Spacey
like
him.
we were fucking talking about that shit today, and it's like kind of gross because it's like Chris the Ratface there. Like I looked at his actual YouTube numbers, since after all of this, he only lost like a quarter of his followers. He
Yeah.
only
Oh,
lost like
yeah.
a quarter of his regular
It'll just go back
viewers.
up. Yep. It'll
It's
just
gonna
slowly
get
go back up.
Yeah. It'll just slowly
Feel
go back to what it
bad.
was.
Feel bad for the white guy, bro.
No,
Just
not
feel
even
bad.
slightly.
But how
Just
is it a
feel-
quarter? Like that means that's like 75% of the people are like, yeah, I'm gonna ride with, I'm gonna wait.
Okay,
I'll just
Yeah.
wait.
here's the thing though. Here's the thing that I think
Here's the thing.
people don't talk about
Bailey.
enough,
Here's the
right?
thing, Bailey. Here's the thing.
Give it to me.
Like, yes, Dalia is definitely deplorably gross, right? We all agree that yuck, right? But
Yeah.
the problem is that there is still a large number of his fans who have been following him before all of this and before all these bad things came out about him that are like, am I supposed to not like this content anymore because the person is questionable? Because I
Yeah.
still like the content, right? And like this is something that we talk about all the time.
You're right.
Like when we talk into regards of specific YouTubers, which I won't name anybody that I partake in, and it's like, yeah, some of them have done some shitty things, but like I'm still able to see the content is something I enjoy. So it's a conflict, right? Where you're like, well, I'll unsubscribe, but I'll still watch it, right? And I think that's kind of what someone like Dalia thrives off, is the views are still there. Who cares
Yeah,
if the
you-
subscriptions go down? Like, people are still watching the ads, he's still getting the revenue, like, doesn't really matter.
But then,
That's it.
like, as they say, any publicity is good publicity.
Right.
The man's comeback video had 1.5 mil, right? It's
Yeah.
like he ate off that. That's 10K. That's $1 million. A
Yeah.
mil on YouTube is 10K right there.
Right.
Oh,
But
shit.
also, here's another thing that goes with that, is that we as a society, and this is a thing that I feel like is a big issue with our society, is like, we all want to watch a mess. We love to
Mhm.
watch a mess. We like to see
Mhm.
things fall apart, and so our morbid curiosity will cause us to watch certain content. Like, specifically for me, around this Gabby Hanna situation, she's being acting extremely immature. I don't really care how anybody feels about it. What she's doing is just not cute, right? And then she drops a cover of an Alanis Morissette song. People want to see that because it's like, oh, it's a cover, it's a song. And she's able to, one, get people morbidly curious about whatever bullshit she's posting, so they're going to watch it. And two, she's also piggybacking off Alanis Morissette. So people also, like, they just Google covers all the time. And they want to see a cover of a song. And so she's able to be shitty, but still profit in some way by creating a mess. Because this is her sort of MO that people are always pointing out, is like, create chaos, release something that you deem is important enough to garner a specific amount of attention. That's what people do.
Yep.
And I think
And
that's
people-
the biggest problem, because they can't be held accountable.
And like it's just like
Yeah.
she's trying to eat. Like she all she's
That's-
doing, all right. She's just trying to eat.
That is
and like
specifically why Keemstar still has a platform. Is
yeah,
he's a fucking dumpster fire.
I respect the hustle, but at the same time, like I have morals and you don't, and whatnot. Um,
Oh
but
man,
like yeah, it's
I got a Keemstar comment for after the pod. Sorry, go.
okay.
Sorry. I didn't mean to
But
cut you
yeah,
off.
No,
I
it's
thought
okay.
you were done. Sorry,
that was my
Russ. I
thing.
realized right after.
Yeah, no, but Keemstar, yeah, he's in other
Yeah.
rabbit hole too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that.
well, it is a good example of that, right? That's someone who's
Yeah.
like just perpetuating the drama and generating fame off of it when he has like
Mhm.
absolutely no contributions to the situation in the first place. He just adds a more negative spin. It's just a hey, what if? It's just a what if
Well,
version of Marvel
Like, get a
comics,
job,
you know?
bro.
Literally,
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
annoying thing about Keem is that he'll see an already horrible situation and then just make it significantly worse with whatever false allegation he pulled from whatever fake source he has. Which I just
Oh yeah.
yucky. Who
It's
is like
another-
hello?
it's
Who
a-
out there is messaging him and giving him information? Like
Like
why
these
are you
12-year-old
wasting
He's
time?
kids.
messaging and if it's not the 12-year-old kids, he's with Ben Shapiro or the right-wing fucking racist nut
Oh,
jobs, right? Like
Yeah,
that was
for
my
sure.
problem with him, cause from back in the day, from his fucking history, right? Like before all this other perpetuating the drama, he contributed to so many problematic shits. He doesn't even address that, right? Like he doesn't even have to be some shining angel. He just has to say, "Oh, it was a different era. I did some fucked up shit." But no, there's like
Yeah, but no,
recordings
he
of
just
him spitting the
gold.
N
Double
word,
down.
him doing this, him doing
Mhm.
that. He's
'Cause
never
it's a part of
actually
his
said,
brand,
"I
bro.
regret saying this."
Like
Yeah.
I think he
He's always
knows
just
he's
rolling.
Someone
toxic.
because they said they were gonna dox me, so I doxed them first.
Yeah, like he knows
And
what
I
he's
also
doing.
called them the N word, because why
Yeah.
not?
And I was
Someone like-
literally in a clan that was a derogatory term. Like he could have like
Yeah.
at least addressed that shit. Like he just tries to play. Yeah, I was part of this cool COD clan. It's like you can put a prefix in there, homie. Like
Yeah.
I
Like-
accept that
He is
maybe
one
it's
of the-
history. But
Yeah.
fuck.
I feel like he's one of the only people on the internet that ever, like, if ever tried to, like, have a conversation about something in relation to myself, I'd be like, oh, I'm not even gonna give you a chance. Don't fucking care, not even gonna respond, not even gonna acknowledge, like, don't waste your breath, there's far more money to make somewhere else, pal, like, no thanks. Ugh.
Like he
Yeah.
knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing, and like he he knows like it's his bread and butter. He does like I
Oh,
need
yeah.
to make a, and like it's hard to like shame somebody who doesn't care because he doesn't give a shit. So
I'm still gonna
here
shame it.
we are criticizing him. No, same here. I am too. Oh, buddy, I am too.
Well, but
But-
guess what? He has children. And eventually, those children are going to get older. And
Yeah.
they're going to see the type of toxic behavior that has gone on.
Well, they're gonna see it after not seeing their dad.
I was
This motherfucker's just in FaZe Banks' house living off of the fame of some 20-year-olds that play Call of Duty while he neglects his children. I'll stop
That's
there.
Inserting himself in drama all the
Yeah.
time.
I'll stop
Just for
there.
fun.
But the motherfucker's a dad living with kids. And which is
Motherfucker
cool if that's
being a
your
puppy.
life, but you can't be both. He's trying to say that he's both, but he ain't both. There's some Alex
Shame.
Jones shit. Alex Jones sits there is trying to say that he's like a
Oh, no.
family man while he's also doing all that shit. But that's a different
Yeah.
note, and no one
I
knows
mean, not
anything about
to not to like harp on someone's family life, but like it is what it is, right? Like
Yeah.
you're showing the behavior online that you want people to assume that you are doing, and it's
Yeah.
quite clear what that assumption is to be. So,
I was
sorry.
even thinking about that for Chris Chris fucking Bradface, I guess.
I
now.
mean, but not only that, like any phase drama ever, like have I ever in my life cared about it? No. Anytime I hear like, oh, phase something, I'm like, don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Not
like
interested, not
I
reading,
like
not
I am
looking.
almost 30. I don't give a shit about that
No.
stuff anymore. Yeah, give
Yeah,
me
some rapper wannabe
yeah,
video
give me some
game
real shit.
connoisseur, like I'm good. Thanks.
So this is who exactly subscribe to the podcast. Give us your money. Pay us on Patreon because this is who we
Right.
want.
Yeah,
We want
this is
those
exactly.
Like if I really wanted to get into all that drama, like I'd watch Rice Gum. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like I'm good. Ross is squinting his eyes.
Because I think
I
even
mean,
that's
for real,
outdated.
though.
I don't think he even makes
But
those
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, if I wanted, like, or even like J Station crap. Like, if I wanted to like watch that type of garbage, I can find it quite easily, and I don't need to watch Face. Thanks.
What's Rice Gum up to?
He's
Nothing?
trying to
Much of
also
nothing?
stream, and then he just kind of piggybacks off of the FaZe clan on TikTok now. Him and Sam Pepper have both. They got canceled on YouTube and all the adult platforms, and they secretly have a TikTok that's kind of popping. Not a lot, but enough to like still have a career as an influencer.
Sam Pepper is legitimately the most disgusting person
Yeah.
on the internet.
Man,
And the
what
fact
is
he's creeping back into trying to have a career, because he's been doing that for 5 years now. I've seen him trying to creep back in for about 5 years now. Yeah.
You better not get canceled.
Well, he did some stupid interview where he was like, "Oh, I was playing a character and we were doing like stuff and like it was for the time." I'm like, "I'm sorry, when was SA ever for the time?"
Yeah. It was
and both their content now on TikTok is the same shit. I actually did take a look, and it's like that same spam. It's that same spam you could tell was made in China or India. It is that same generic fucking random TikTok that's clearly acted and blah 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 blah.
I'm good.
Fake. The magic penny in a bottle trick, and then I squirted my partner in the face.
If you want to watch magic, like there's so many better creators for that shit. Like
the towel challenge. Here, turn the tap on and hold the towel at both sides. Now pull your arm from under the tap.
I mean, like, okay, it's just because like we're talking about magic, like if anybody cares about magic content, there's a guy from Montreal who does magic content. His name is Chris Ramsey. He actually has like legitimate magic connections, and that's who you should waste your time watching because it's actually good.
Or you can just do. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say it's funny you go on that tangent because I saw more. I've been like exploring more of the TikToks and the shorts and shit to try to get a handle of the content style. It's like, yo, magic's popping off, and I get why. Yo, all the magicians got made fun of for 2 decades there. They're probably just fucking ecstatic in the corner that TikTok exists. They're probably like, finally. Yeah. It's been like 20 years. Now these kids adore us again.
Because they're 6 years old.
Well, no, actually, okay.
Because it's easier to trick them when you only have a minute. That's why.
No, I think you guys should watch some Chris Ramsey videos. I think you'd be quite impressed. I think the reason why magic is starting to get more popular again is because of that Magic for Humans that was on Netflix. If you have not watched that, you should watch it. It was so funny. But I think that's kind of like why it's starting to pick back up again.
But I would like to have my mind freaked, and I don't think anything is gonna be.
You're talking about Chris Angel? Was that what you're looking for? Mind freak?
Yeah, fuck yeah, we are, yeah.
Predictable boys.
You telling us he's not?
Fucking Korn sang the goddamn theme song. Dude, that, like, I watched every single episode.
That shit was. I knew it was fake, and I was addicted to it either way.
No,
I
it's
didn't
not
care.
fake. What are you talking about?
You guys should be watching David Blaine. I'm pretty sure he has a Netflix.
I'm pretty sure David Blaine got canceled too. I think he got canceled too.
For what?
I don't even know anymore.
Look it up and tell me later.
Racist magic tricks.
David Blaine is way better, though. I will give you that.
Mm-hmm. Chris Angel opened up a restaurant recently.
No, but I think you guys, if you haven't watched the Magic for Humans on Netflix, you guys should watch that because I think you would both really like it. Raza, I think more than Bailey, but
why me?
I saw some of Magic for Humans.
Am I a monkey?
I like the one with the kids and the marshmallows.
Magic.
Like, let me do a spoiler alert then, because I think you would enjoy this. No. There's one episode, and he does it, I believe, in both seasons, where he tells the crowd to go along with what's going on, and he gets a guy to sit in a chair in front of all these people, like outside, and he puts the blanket over the guy, and then he rips the blanket off as if he's invisible. And this guy genuinely believes he is invisible, and it is the funniest thing I have ever watched. Like, this guy really, his facial expressions, he's like waving his hand in people's face, like he really believes nobody can see him. And he comes back and he sits down in the chair to like do the cloak again, to like become visible again. It's funny. I'm telling you, you'd like it.
Like, come on, guys, laugh. Please laugh. Please
No,
laugh.
you know what, Raza? Watch it and come back to me. I guarantee you're gonna eat your words. Watch. I know.
I will watch it. I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished watching the Mighty Ducks TV show. In case you want to know about that.
Okay,
Season
close us out.
finale.
So before we
Wait,
move on to that,
we're
are we
done?
gonna close out the episode, or?
Yeah, so, well, I was gonna say someone give me a summary of Kevin Spacey here, and then you can tell us about the Mighty Ducks.
No, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Kevin Spacey sucks, and he's getting away with something he shouldn't be allowed to get away with, but because money and power, and that's just how Hollywood works, he's going to be able to make a new movie or show or whatever the fart it is he's doing.
No,
that's just how it works.
There we
Sorry.
go, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raza Malik believes this is gonna be it. I believe if he's going to Italy and making movies, that says something.
Career rebuild will happen.
In Europe, but
Yeah.
maybe not in America.
I think it still will, because people like to give the benefit of the doubt to white men in power. So.
All right.
That's a good message to end it off on. That's a conclusion. White men in
Kevin
power.
Spacey will come back in the next fucking
Next
Call of
time
Duty
on
game.
the Avengers.
Yeah, next
Moving
time on
on.
the Avengers.
Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey was in a Call of Duty game. I forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played the President of the United States.
No.
All right, signing off.
No,
Thank you, everybody.
but-
So if you tune in live, we stream to Twitch on Mondays at 7 p.m. You can chat with us afterwards. What we do is we post the podcast live, what seems like now Fridays every week. And soon it's going to be audio only, so you can take it with you on the go. Thank you for tuning in. You can catch us regularly. My name's Bailey. We got a Raza here. And
Razzle Dazzle.
He's Razzle Dazzle, and we got a wine mom who gets to say whatever they want. Hi.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. All right. So thank you for tuning in. We're switching to the chatting screen, and if you're here, say hi.